Good afternoon, honorable members. Honorable members, good afternoon. Honorable members, good afternoon. Honorable members, can I please request that we proceed for something? I request honorable members that I have an announcement to make before we proceed. So I humbly request that we be in our seats for the announcement we want to make. Good afternoon, honorable members. I take this opportunity to inform the House that the Right Honorable Speaker is not available today to preside the today's sitting because he has other engagement outside Arusha. Therefore, according to our rules, you need to invoke Article 56B of the Treaty, Rule 10, Sub-Rule 3 and Annex 3 to elect a member who is going to preside for today's sitting and subsequent sittings until when the Speaker will be available. Now, honorable members, according to our rules, Annex 3 is the annex that guides how a member is elected. The clerk presides the process. And 2, it has to be done in the chamber. We are in the chamber, and we are here to preside for this exercise. Number 3, it's a requirement for nominations. Now, a member will stand, and after catching the eyes of the clerk, will propose a member who will be elected to preside over. The member proposed must be seconded, and after seconded, the member has to explain or to inform the House of his willing to preside. If those 3 stages are done, that member will be duly nominated. Then we will go for another nomination. But if only one member is nominated, then we will be declared elected. If more than one member is nominated, you will be required to vote for the member who will preside, and the member who will get more votes, the one who is going to be elected. With that, now I request for nomination. Yes, Honorable Christopher.
I, Honorable Christopher, do nominate Honorable Abdul Kadir.
Seconded by Honorable Dr. Woda, Honorable Dong, Honorable Kalinda, Honorable Jinkrud, Honorable Nya, Honorable Nakauch, and all members standing. Honorable Woda, Honorable Oda, Honorable Malikre, Honorable Leontine, Honorable Momamo, and Honorable Sophie, and the Honorable Kimbisa as well. Thank you. So, Honorable Abdul Kadir, you have been proposed. Now the House will want to know if you are willing.
I am ready and willing.
So Honorable Abdul Kadir Aden has been duly nominated. Do we have another nomination? Okay. I don't see any other nomination, so I want to declare that Honorable Abdul Kadir Aden is elected to preside today's sitting and the subsequent sittings until when the right honorable speaker will be back. I request Honorable Aden to go to the seat of speaker and make his acceptance speech.
Honorable members, I would like to take this opportunity to express my profound appreciation to you to have elevated me to this high office, albeit for a few days. I feel greatly honored and proud for the confidence and trust you have expressed on me. I submit myself to the will of the House, the supremacy of the rules of the House, and lay claim to the privileges of the Assembly and the members. In accepting this responsibility, I would like to confirm that I will uphold the dignity of this House at all times, and that I will apply the rules of the House without fear or favor as I seek to promote the good image of the Assembly. With those few remarks, honorable members, I submit my will to the House. Thank you. Now, as is required of the procedure, I will adjourn the House briefly for about 5 to maybe 10 minutes, and then we will resume back here in the normal way that we do. But thank you very much for the opportunity and the responsibility.
It was off. That's how I was disarmed. Now it is even coming on.
Prayer.
Let's pray, honorable members. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the office of leaders and parliaments for the welfare of society, good of all human lives upon it, and the just government of its people. We beseech you to look with your abundant favor upon us, your servants, whom you have entrusted with the performance of such an important trust in this community. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our attention and deliberation in so just and faithful a manner, so as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this region, and of those whose interest you have committed to us. Amen.
Item number 1 on the order paper, communication from the chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Once again, thank you very much for the honor and the opportunity you have accorded me to chair this house today. There's not much communication at this juncture. If there is any, as we continue, I'll bring it to your attention, honorable members. So there's not much communication other than just to thank you for the opportunity you have given to me today.
Item number 2, papers.
Procedure, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, who is calling for procedure? Yes, Honorable Kim Gai.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm raising the point of procedure on Rule 12 on rule of procedure. Thank you very much.
Honorable Kim Gai, number 12 is on quorum. Yes, do you have something to say?
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, the House does not have quorum at this moment. The Republic of Kenya are not in the House.
Honorable Kim Gai, may I correct you on that? I consider, even though I'm on the chair, as present. And I can see Honorable Simon Mbugua and Honorable Kennedy Musyoka here, unless there is any other partner state which is not here. Kenya is present in full.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I did not see the Honorable Simon Mbugua, because when we are in the House, the Honorable Simon Mbugua is not here. But
okay, he's here. He's seated here.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Thank you very much.
Very well. Thank you, Honorable Kim Gai, for bringing bringing that matter to my attention. It is well noted that the House is duly in session and with the full quorum. Honorable colleagues, honorable members, we have papers to be laid on. I now want to call on the chairperson of the Committee on Accounts.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, and congratulations. I beg to lay on the table the report for the Committee on Accounts to assess the status of institutional development of CASOA and the level of enforcement of safety, harmonization of civil air transport policies, and civil aviation rules and regulations in the EAC region. I beg to lay.
Item number 3 on order paper, bills first reading, beginning with Roman 1.
Okay, a number of bills, honorable members, as you have seen, that are supposed to be laid today. I want to call on the chairperson of the council to lay the papers that have been sorted for today. Okay, honorable members, I'm not sure if we have any member of the council online, joining us online, because on the bench here, I don't see any member of the council, in the absence of which I will require the CTC to give the House a clarification as to why, even upon the direction of the substantive speaker last week, with regards to the presence of members of the council here, why we do not have members here, and I would like to hear you pronouncing yourself as to why these bills are not being laid before the House, or why there is no member.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Simon Mbuga.
Honorable Speaker, I'm asking if the Honorable PS can do the honors.
Procedure, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Engineer Munya.
Mr. Speaker, sir, according to Speaker's information before regarding the members of council, even this report whom we are going to be read here, and all what we are going to argue is to the council minister, if they are available, no, not available, that means this house is better to be postponed.
Information.
Honorable members, first of all, let me acknowledge the presence of the PS from the Ministry of East African Community. He's been with us very diligently. Daktari, we are grateful for your presence and thank you very much for being with us here. Now, honorable members, allow me to just say that I had asked the CTC to give us an explanation as to why, or as to when, even during the course of the day, the House can continue to transact its other business, as we directed the CTC and we hear from him that who is the council member who is going to join us to lay these papers. Honorable members, I'm insisting on this because this House, this assembly works with a calendar of activities. A lot of the bills that are lined up here have actually been structured into the works of committees starting next week after the plenary is over. So if these bills are not tabled, then what that means is that there's a complete disruption to the works and the plan for the committees of this House. So that's why I want to insist very much, CTC, what is happening, because we know that these bills have been with you for months now. Council has given them to your office for tabling for months now. And a lot of the bills that are here are very critical bills to the functioning of the community, honorable members. So even when we talk about delays in the integration process, particularly to the monetary union, there are very critical bills that are slotted for tabling today. CTC, please pronounce yourself to this and explain to this House at what point in this afternoon or at what point before the end of this plenary are these bills going to be tabled?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the council has already been informed that indeed the assembly has a program to look at these, to scrutinize and do public hearings on these bills, which relate to the third pillar of the integration of the East African community. But for a number of reasons, Right Honorable Speaker, we don't have a member of council today. We are committing that we will have these bills on Tuesday next week without fail. Right,
Procedure,
Honorable Speaker.
Clarification,
procedure,
clarification,
procedure, right honorable.
Procedure, Mr. Speaker.
clarification.
Procedure.
Honorable members, let the CTC finish his statement of clarification. Then I will give an opportunity for the members to say something on this.
Yes, right, Honorable Speaker, the assurance is that the bills are going to be laid on table next week, well in time before you start public hearings. And at the Secretariat, we are ready to support the work of the Assembly. And we are doing whatever we can to ensure that this happens next week.
Procedure.
For information, right, Honorable
Procedure.
Speaker. We are aware that
It's a
the
matter of
chairmanship of
procedure,
the affairs of the
Speaker. It's a
committee-
matter of procedure. It's a matter of procedure.
Yes, if that is the case, then allow me to grant Honorable Kennedy first. Then I'll come to you, Honorable Fancy and Honorable. James,
Thank
I'll
you
come to
so much, Right Honorable Speaker, and congratulations for assuming the chair. That beautiful part. Hope you will never feel sweet to leave the chair, but I believe you are going to do your job. Speaker, I just want to bring to your attention that when the commission and the chairpersons met in Dar es Salaam, that was in August 2021, the same bills were talked, and we had to allocate timing trying to rearrange our program to include those bills. Secondly, when the commission and the chairpersons met in Nairobi, we had to do a lot of reallocation as far as this bill is concerned. Mr. Speaker, I find no excuse as to why almost going to 7 months that these bills are not laid on the table. Equally, Mr. Speaker, we should understand that we are always lacking one of our role, that is legislation. Bills are never brought. When we bring private members' bill, we kept it there because we do not have funding, so that we can be able to conduct either public hearing or consider this bill. I find it very, very, I don't know how to put it, but something that is not worth talking about in this house if we do not have these bills laid on the table. The fact that we do not have even copies of these bills indicates these bills are not there. So I want to understand why the East African Custom Management Act was laid last week and these bills were not laid. There is a tendency from either the council or whoever is responsible that is trying to play about with this assembly. Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg your indulgence that if these bills are not there, this house will not proceed until these bills are laid in the house. And I must say that we have the following bills. There are very many of them. One, the East African Financial Service Bill. We have the East African Surveillance, Compliance and Enforcement Bill. We have the Customs Management Act, which is already there. Then we have the Standardization, Accreditation and Conformity Bill. These 4 bills are very, very important for the monetary union. The council directed that by 1st of July last year, the Monetary Institute should start operating. And up to now, we are not seeing this bill. How do we proceed with the integration process when purposely we are derailed to consider bills in this house? Right, Honorable Speaker, it is in your mandate that the house won't proceed in an event that we do not have this bill laid on the table. I thank you.
Yes, Honorable Mariam, with the information. Honorable James, I'm coming to you, please.
Procedure.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Myself also, let me congratulate you for being a speaker for today. This might be a good riddance that maybe later on we will see you in the speakership in Kenya, maybe, inshallah. All right, Honorable Speaker, the report that we want to put here, the bill, it's all written from chairperson of the Council of Ministers. As members, we cannot allow or we will not accept CTC to stand for the Council of Ministers. If the ministers are not here, let us not proceed with anything that is from them, so that we send a message that as ex-official, they have to be here. We don't mind even one of them being here representing others, but not all of them absent. From the decision of these ministers, it is why now we are treated as school children. We have to sign the attendance and everything, but themselves, they're not around. So we need to address the Council of Ministers or address the ministers when they are actually either physically here or virtually here. Otherwise, no one can represent them as ex-official. I thank you, Right Honorable
Speaker, we
Speaker.
go home. We go home, Speaker. We go home.
Honorable James Kakoza. I'll come to you.
Procedure.
I'll come to you, Honorable.
Even me. Procedure, Speaker. Procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Also, I want to add my voice and congratulate you for the trust the members have given you today to preside over the House. Right Honorable Speaker, I think the Assembly is put on trial. It's put on trial because, honorable members, a House of such a nature to perform is judged on motions, is judged on bills, is judged on the performance of what is discussed within that particular term. And when our colleagues, our brothers and sisters, we are ready to work, them they are not ready. So what do we do? When the other time, the other week when the speaker decided and said, please, can we engage or dialogue with the Council of Ministers to tell us what do they want us to do? Because our mandate here is legislation, passing motions, and passing bills. What do they expect us to do? And they are putting us in the public domain that you are wasting resources doing nothing.
Clarification.
Because the 21 days which are mandated to come here and perform, and you don't perform, what will happen? Is there falling for money? They are putting you in public domain to say the Assembly is doing nothing. I think it's high time, Right Honorable Speaker, that up to next week, we institute a committee to face the chairperson of the Council of Ministers to tell them that what do you want us to do? Because now these bills, I believe, these bills cannot be passed. The end of the term is ending in December. Will you perform? When you look at the importance of these bills, you have to go to the partner states to find out. And then after finding out, you gather information, but this is the time of campaign. When are you going to pass these bills? The term of office would have ended. I think it's time members will become shrewd and provide means how can be not put in public disrepute that we are wasting resources to come here and waste a lot of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable
Procedure.
James. There are a number of you
Procedure.
honorable members who are
Oh.
interested in this
It's a
discussion. I will
point of
give the time.
procedure.
Honorable Jean-Claude, I'll go to Honorable Rosa Cole, and then I'll come to you, Dr. Wada. And then I'll pick you, Honorable Kimbisa, and I see Honorable Jumari.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand on the point of procedure. The Speaker is empowered by the rules of the House to adjourn the House for a few minutes in order to, whenever it deems necessary, and this time we need to consult to know what is happening for these ministers. These bills are the council bills. They should be laid on the table by a council chair. When the council is not here, I think we need like 10 minutes adjournment of the House. Easy
Procedure.
consultation.
Procedure,
Thank
Right
you.
Honorable
Thank you,
Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Order, Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedure.
Okay, I'll come to
Procedure.
you, Honorable Francis. please. Let me go
clarification.
to, they're all on
Order.
procedural motions. Honorable Rosa Cole.
Concerning
Dr. Wada,
the
then I will come.
proposal
Order, Right Honorable
of
Speaker.
Honorable Jane Cloud.
Honorable Fancy.
Thank you.
You have info.
Thank you, Right Honorable
Let
Speaker.
me allow Honorable Rose to execute, please. Yes, Honorable Rose.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, I want to thank you for the honor that this House has given you to be our Speaker until such a time that it will be necessary for you to leave that chair. But so far, congratulations. Right Honorable Speaker, it is a very sad day today. Yet again, that today we are speaking to ourselves. The House is not properly constituted when we don't have the front bench. Right Honorable Speaker, our member states actually took it upon themselves. I remember there was a time we had one minister, each per member state, as a minister responsible for East African community. But now they even went ahead and they elected deputy ministers or designated deputy ministers. This was to enable that whenever the senior minister is not around, at least the deputy is present in this house here at Arusha. Now, for this house not to have any member of the council present is very absurd, and I think we need explanations from Chair Council. And more so, today when we are supposed to receive bills that are supposed to actually conclude on the legal frameworks that are necessary for the final placement, I want to say so, of the monetary union so that it takes effect. I know I've already done for 2 institutions which have already also not been, which have not taken effect, but these are the remaining institutions. So these legal frameworks are very important, and it would be something that any minister, any member of the council would want to be here today in order to make sure these bills are laid on table. But sad, they are all not here. So Right Honorable Speaker, first of all, now that we don't have any minister present, it will be very difficult for us to continue to proceed with the proceedings of this House, talking to ourselves, because for whom do we prepare these reports? We make recommendations to Council of Ministers to urge them to take certain actions. They are not here. So in effect, they are telling us we should not proceed with today's proceedings, that the House should not proceed. And I believe we should not proceed with the House, with the sittings today, until we have at least 1 or 2 members of council seated on the front bench to receive our recommendations and also to lay on table these bills, Right Honorable Speaker. So with that, I want to propose that this House is it's not adjournment. It is it could be adjourned until Tuesday, or until we at such a time when we are able to have the ministers present in the House, because we need to be serious with the work of the community. So, Right Honorable Speaker, from here, can we do a presser? We do a press conference and mention some of these things. Maybe they will hear us at home, wherever they are. So let us be serious as an assembly. Oftentimes we are being reported as an assembly that is not, that is failing. And yet, for us, our work is to do legislation. These are the legislation, these are the bills that we need to perform our work. So once they are not presented, yes, we have to be serious about it and actually make sure that the members of the council are here. So, Right Honorable Speaker, as we conclude, we adjourn. Secondly, we do a press conference. Thank
Clarification.
Yes, I will grant you all the opportunity, honorable members, to pronounce yourself to this. Dr. Wada, I will come to you. CTC, I want to come back to you again before granting further opportunity to the members. I want you to confirm to the House that the bills are ready, number one. Number two, that you can avail copies of those bills now because they are under your custody to the House. Honorable members, colleagues, I'm listening to you, and we will make a conclusion on this matter. The House will resolve on this matter.
Procedure.
But let me give an opportunity to all of you on procedure. I'm going to Dr. Warder, Honorable, followed by Honorable Kimbisa,
Clarification.
Honorable Jimari, and Muhirwa. You're not there now. Okay, the next is
I was
Honorable
there.
Fancy, if you are still interested. Then I will pick the other order. But please keep your comments brief, because I think we're all on the same page on this matter. Please keep your comments brief, if you may. Honorable Dr. Warder, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. And I want to add my voice to congratulate you on owning the trust of this assembly. And they said that power is contagious. I'm your neighbor here. I hope it will come to me one time. Right Honorable Speaker, I think this House has been taken for granted for a long time, because last time when I gave my submission, I told Honorable Speaker and this assembly that we will not continue the work as usual, talking to ourselves, telling the recommendation, and they're not being implemented. Right Honorable Speaker, I agree totally with Honorable Ayerson. We spent, when we were in Nairobi, the chairperson with the commissioners, we spent 2 hours trying to fit these bills. Some of the private member bills, mine is one of them, were even deferred to May so that we fit those important bills. Now we don't see anyone here. And there are important things which we want to discuss, and neither of the Council of Ministers members, one member even, we don't have. So I think I will add my voice to this, to my colleagues who've spoken before me, that this House has been taken for granted for long. We have to adjourn and then maybe send a strong message. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Fancy, you have the floor. Yes, Honorable Chair, Honorable Chris, you have, before I grant them. Yes.
Yeah, Right Honorable Speaker, I just want a clarification from CTC, because a few days ago, our clerk wrote a letter to him, which the copy was sent to the chairpersons and the commission. A letter to remind him to tell the councils to be here, the ministers to be here to table these bills. So, as Honorable Kennedy mentioned, it seems there is some ongoing business from the CTC department, because there is no way we can keep on blaming ministers that they are not here. Yet, the CTC himself did not provide even the copy of this bill. So we need a clarification from him why there's no copy of these bills. Secondly, why the ministers are not here, because he's aware, because he was informed a few days ago that he must actually make sure that these bills are tabled. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Honorable Noor, sorry, before I come to Honorable Kimbisa, Adam Kimbisa. Honorable Kimbisa, please, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I also join hands to congratulate you for assuming that position. It's unfortunately that you just assumed that the soup is hot at the same time. Honorable Speaker, this issue of the Council of Ministers is becoming even more serious. In the last assembly, it was not happening like this. Now, I don't know what has changed. I don't know what's going on. Is it that they despise this assembly? Is it that they see us, we are irrelevant? Is it that they are saying that we don't contribute much? But on the contrary, if a small things happen here in the assembly, they will blame us right, left, and center. So to me, it's either today or never to send a very strong message. One, to the summit, that these are the people the summit has appointed to come to East African community, and we are not with them here. This is a very strong day, a very important day to send the message to the people of East Africa, because I find this is unacceptable. I find this is stinking, I'm sorry to say that. I find it's not fair. And Honorable Speaker, if we continue with this, we shall be speaking to ourselves, what I call mutual admiration between and among ourselves, but nothing going on. So we have to send a very strong message today that this assembly is strong and it can't be taken for granted. So therefore, I agree with those who say that we postpone until further notes when we make some clarification. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Thank you, honorable members. Before I grant you, Honorable Fancy, you are the next. Even as we go through the motions of legislation here, allow me to recognize, it's been brought to my attention that we're privileged to have student leaders from Uganda and Kenya in the gallery. Will you please stand up for recognition in the house? Unfortunately, I don't have your names here. If I did, I would have mentioned you by names. Please be upstanding, the student leaders from. Thank you very much. You're welcome to the East Africa Legislative Assembly in session. We're honored to have you here. You are our next generation of leaders. So we hope and look forward to the day you will come and serve the people of East Africa here. Karibuni sana. Colleagues, I had asked the CTC to clarify on some two things. Then I will continue with my list of the to hear the submission from the honorable members. CTC, please answer on those two issues.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Before I go to those questions, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to point out or to inform the August House that we are all aware that the substantive chairperson of the council resigned and the deputy minister also resigned. Only today, the Honorable Secretary General traveled to Nairobi to ensure that we get a substantive chairperson of the council.
Can I, CTC, let me stop you there.
Yes.
Order, honorable
Right,
members.
Honorable Speaker.
Let me, honorable CTC, please resume your seat. CTC, this is the problem of being a member of the bench or being privileged to be a member of the bench of the council, because you are a member, you're secretary of the council, and you are not even aware that the statement you're just making has been overtaken by events. The House was duly informed last week that the Honorable Council, in the absence of the substantive council chair, the Honorable Minister from Burundi, Honorable Zakaria, has taken the it's not Zakaria, Ezekiel, Honorable Ezekiel has resumed on a temporary basis to be the chair of council. So the council is not without chair. So maybe the House needs to inform you. Let me also inform or put the records straight that in the absence of the substantive chair, Dr. Kevit Dezei, the permanent secretary of the East African Ministry for East African Affairs in Kenya, has diligently been in this House. It's only that he cannot sit on the front here, and I thanked him earlier for being with us. So we do not take the excuse of the issue of the Kenyan substantive chair not being appointed yet. This PS is here. He duly informed the House and also a decision of the council that the council member from Burundi holds forth. So for that reason, let me inform you on that as you proceed in answering on those two issues.
Clarification, Speaker, before he continues.
So, yes, Honorable Fancy.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I wonder why CTC is continue to mislead this house several times. We want him to tell us, leave out the issue of the council members that are not here, but him has a duty to make sure that the bills in the house, where are those bills?
What I had asked him to answer. Please answer those two. Then Honorable Noor, you are next on my list. So please. Let me give point of order to Honorable Noor, and then Ambassador, I'm coming to you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I join my colleagues in congratulating you to resume the chair of the Speaker. As it is being said, it is sweet, the power is sweet, but today it seems to be turning sour because of what is going on. Honorable Speaker, I don't really understand how we are handling the business of the House, because the practice is that either you deal with the business on the order paper, and the House does not debate on anything that is not placed on the order paper, unless it is moved as a procedural motion without notice and then subject for discussion. But I can see we are now discussing for almost an hour on issues of procedure, which one member could raise, and the Speaker give the rulings, and then we proceed. But it has turned to be a debate, and I don't think it is really a procedure for any House to debate what is not in front of the House. Secondly, Honorable Chair, the same things have been proposed. Proposals have been given for the House to be postponed or to be adjourned, and that also requires a procedural motion, that a resolution is passed, and then the Speaker gives a chance for members to debate and agree. It's up to the House to adjourn. But the procedure should be followed. We should not raise it as a matter of point of order or a point of procedure, and then leave the Speaker to expect the Speaker to give the ruling that the House should be postponed. I think let's be procedural ourselves, because the issue being raised are procedures. Finally, I want to come to the issue of the copies of the bill being availed. How do you avail the copies of the bill which is not the property of the House, which has not been laid on the table of the House? We only get copies of what is the property of the House.
Information.
No.
Yes, information.
Can I give you? Is misleading the House.
Information. Honorable members, order. I will give you the opportunity, honorable colleagues. Honorable Noor, by the powers granted to the Speaker on our rules, I gave a discretion to listen and give honorable members an opportunity, very short opportunity, to voice their concern on this very important matter. So for that reason, it is not that we are operating on anything outside of our procedures. We're well within our procedures. And upon listening to the members who I have said I will listen to those who are interested in voicing in this matter, then we'll make a decision on how we want to proceed. If at that point in time we feel it that there is going to be a motion to be put, because the Speaker has not yet received any motion requesting for the House to be adjourned until such a time that the council members are here. And in my view, I want to listen to your honorable colleagues on this issue and to the CTC as well. Then I think I will make a decision on what I think is good or in the interest of how we proceed. Okay, so Honorable Ambassador, you had an issue then because a point of order. Also. Then we have Honorable Fancy is actually on supposed to be on the floor. Honorable Alex,
thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. And at the outset, I'd like to congratulate you for assuming this position.
Thank you.
And the trust members have shown in you. The question I have is one, because one of the roles or the mandate of the Assembly is oversight. And I believe this should be under oversight to really hold our ministers accountable. So I just wanted to know from the CTC whether we as an assembly have powers to constitute a select committee to hold our ministers accountable so that we don't guess. They should tell us what is making them busy. Because as an assembly, we are here, we are using taxpayers' money. We have a busy schedule in front of us, including the bills. So that's the clarification I just wanted to know. How do we hold them accountable? Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Honorable Fancy, sorry for taking long in coming to you. You have the floor. Please make it short.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also join my colleagues and congratulate you for assuming the seat of the Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the colleagues that spoke before me, actually they took most of the point that I wanted to raise here. But I also want to find out, as Honorable Fatma Ndagiza said, what can we do to make the ministers accountable for their action? Because we are spending the taxpayers' money, we are here ready to work, but they are not here. And I remember last week, even Speaker said that please make sure Council of Ministers are here next week. And they said that they will be here. Because accountability, Right Honorable Speaker, goes both ways. This assembly has been put at the edge in the name of accountability, but we do not understand, is it the assembly that is supposed to be accountable on the action and everything that they do? Thank you.
Honorable Engineer Munya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to inform your House that the ruling of the Speaker remains intact unless something changed by special issues. So I want to remind this House, Mr. Speaker, that in the second meeting, 5th session, 4th Assembly, Mr. Speaker Ngoga ruled out that with the absence of Council Ministers here, no transaction should be continuing here. That means he postponed because of this incident. So this ruling remains intact today. So the only additional thing that your House normally sends different standing committees in OSBS to find NTBs. Now we realize that the Council Ministers are also NTBs in this situation. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to postpone this.
I have on my list Honorable Alex, Honorable Mukiza, and Honorable Rujema, and then I'll come to Honorable Francine and Honorable George. George, am I not looking this side?
Honorable Chair, this side you are not shaking it.
My apologies. Allow me for the names I have mentioned now, for the honorable members to pronounce themselves. Then I will come to Honorable George and to you, Senior Counsel. It's Honorable Alex, but you have the floor.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I also want to join my colleagues to congratulate you for having promoted that big seat. And it's because that we know that you are capable of sitting there. Mr. Speaker, as I can see this situation, much as there has been a ruling from the Speaker saying that there shouldn't be any business without the presence of the Council. The situation, instead of we thought this time they will come because we couldn't proceed last time. And now that the situation has worsened, nobody is even online, so we are stuck. But we are very lucky that in the House we have got the Council of the Community. One who is supposed to advise the community legally. So, Mr. Speaker, the CTC can advise us In such a situation, when the community has got stuck and there's no coordination, there is no meeting, there is no communication between the assembly and the council. That's what I have, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, honorable members, before I proceed to the next member on the list, it's been brought to my attention that there's a council member online, the CS, Madam Beth Maina, is Betty Maina is online. The Kenyan CS is online. So, but now I will maybe as a matter of procedure, I know she's been a council member here before, but procedurally, we would like to know procedurally whether before her swearing in, whether she will be able to sit in here. So maybe that's a clarification I will seek as I continue to listen to the honorable members in the list. The speaker will be briefed on the procedurally how such a matter should be handled. But I welcome CS Betty Maina for being with us. And if procedures allow for her to be recognized as member of council and CTC is here as well, then we can be able to pronounce ourselves to that. But in the meantime, let me continue to listen to Honorable Mkiza and followed by Honorable Rujema.
Motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Motion.
Honorable Mkiza, you have the floor. Please continue.
I'm talking to you,
Please,
Mr. Speaker, sir.
please carry on.
I'm
Please carry on.
addressing it to you, so I have to wait.
I'm just being informed on a procedural matter. Please proceed.
Thank you much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. Yeah, actually, I'm adding my voice to the voices of the previous speakers, saying that I congratulate you first and foremost, and also record that though that chair is good and nice, that the soup is hot, not only hot, but also spicy. And I continue by saying that I was wondering myself if the head of state are now aware of the absence of their ministers, because normally when they can't participate to the work of the assembly, they received further mission or activity to perform by their superiors who are the head of state. So we should also be informed about that. If you received a notification of this absence. And Mr. Speaker, let me also welcome the Honorable Minister online, Madam Betty, as you were mentioned to us, and I welcome her immediately, though she's not sworn in yet, but she's around, she's with us, which is good. Mr. Speaker, I was also wondering, as far as this business
She's
is
not
concerned,
part of council.
if the CTC is really in a position to print out the bills, the ongoing bills we're talking about, and if those bills can be tabled by the CTC, they are here present, because I don't know the laws that can allow this to be done. If not, Mr. Speaker, under Rule 7 of our rules of procedure, sub-rule A, there is, you have got under your function, duties and function of the speaker to open, suspend, and close sittings. So if we say adjourn, that would not be okay, because adjournment is related to the work well done and finished work. So if we have issues and we are debating, we are discussing, so this will be called suspension. And you are the only person here with those powers under our rules of procedure. And allow me to say, I also suggest that we suspend the House until we get further orientation.
Thank you very much. I submit.
Okay, before I give the floor to Honorable Rujema, honorable colleagues, let me pronounce myself onto the issue of Madam Honorable CS Betty Maina.
Motion, Right, Mr. Speaker.
Who is online with us.
Motion.
Just let me make a communication on this matter, please, then I'll give you the opportunity. Honorable colleagues, Article 13 of the treaty pronounces itself onto the issue of the membership of the council. And Article 13A is clear that the council shall consist of the ministers responsible for East African community affairs of each partner state, or such other minister, the partners as each partner state may determine. I just want to say that while Madam Honorable CS Betty Maina, who I know is very conversant with this ministry and the affairs of this EAC, while she has all rights to tune in now and listen to us until such a time that that status is formally communicated to the House by the partner state, we might not be able to recognize her now as a substantive member of the council present. CTC, if you have any divergent view or any you want to inform the speaker on that matter, please, you have the floor as I make the ruling on this.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The Republic of Kenya has communicated to the Secretary General that they have designated the Cabinet Secretary Maina to be the substantive chair. So she will be, we are now making arrangements for her to come and take oath. And I hope that next week she'll be able to transact business.
So
Yeah,
she's
just if I
not.
may ask, if you have that letter, and if the CS is online, why can't we perform that duty of swearing her in now? What stops it?
Because, Right Honorable Speaker, the letter is not addressed to me. The partner states have to be informed, and the Secretariat, I believe the Secretary General has a number of steps to take before this is formally brought to your attention. So this is something that is not really formally before me. I mean, I'm only communicating information I've had, and I'm suggesting, that's why I was requesting, Chairperson, that you give us up to Tuesday and we sort out all these procedure requirements.
Right, Honorable Speaker.
That matter then cannot, my earlier ruling stands until that you formalize the process. It's unfortunate that the substantive minister to be sworn in is with us here.
Procedure.
And
Procedure.
we are not able to do
procedure,
that. Honorable colleagues, please hold on. I would like to have respect for this list. Then you are all on my list of speaking, Honorable Mbide.
This is on a procedure.
Yes. On a procedure, yes.
Right, Honorable Speaker. The treaty under Article 69(2) allows the CTC to perform roles of council only when those roles are conferred upon him. Before any further interjections by council on material that is otherwise the business of council, I will do, the CTC should only be under procedure if we laid down a certificate of conferment by council to perform those roles. But Honorable Speaker, in the interim, the Honorable Minister only attends as part of members in the gallery and not part of the House.
Thank you. That is well noted. Honorable members, Honorable Rujema, please make it your comments brief. I have taken the opportunity to indulge to listen to as many of you as possible on this matter before we can be able to proceed.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I will be brief. Let me start by congratulating you. You fit well with the hard seat. What I want to focus on, right, Honorable Speaker, I was in Eala 3, and I remember we never missed a member of the council. I remember Deputy Prime Minister in the Minister of Uganda, Kivenjida, was every time in his chamber. When he was not able to come, someone else was replacing him. I don't understand how the Council of Ministers is taking this August Assembly. What I want to focus on, right on the Speaker, on our role of oversight activities. We have to make them accountable. The minister have to be accountable. And I agree, if my colleague agree, it is possible to make a motion and after that, even make a press conference. Because they want to make us useless in the public figures. It is not right what you have to say. Those ministers, they are members of this August Assembly because they are ministers in charge of East African affairs. If they are taken off from the office, they can no longer show up here. We have to make them responsible, and the citizen of East Africa can understand in which situation we are now. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Before I move to this side, Honorable Francine. Then Honorable George Odongo, you have next.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I would like to congratulate as well upon your election to chair this meeting of today. Congratulations. Right Honorable Speaker, I add my voice and I would like to support the proposal given by Honorable Jean-Claude to see if we can adjourn for a few minutes. Then we can consult, the relevant authority can consult with the council members to know when they are ready to come, so that at least for the rest of our days, we should not waste again the time coming in the house, waiting for them when they are not around. At least we can concentrate on our committee's activities. And at the end, when they will be able to come, they tell us, then report, and those bills, even if they are so important for this community, we have to wait for them to come. So my appeal is to see if we can record, make it on record, on when they are able to come to help us continue those business on the table, and also to give us justice, because we are here to work and they are here to receive our recommendations. If they are not here, to whom are we talking to? We are not here to talk to ourselves. We are here to give our recommendations to them so that we can see the improvement of those issues we are raising in this house. So, Right Honorable Speaker, if you allow, we can take a few minutes with the relevant person, if it is the CTC, to call them to know, and we have it on a record, and we can proceed when we are ready to receive them and continue our business. Right Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Thank you, Honorable Francine. Honorable George Odongo.
Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to first of all congratulate you. Right Honorable Speaker, the business of this assembly is a function of discussions that take place at the level of commission. And yet it's also not true that this assembly imposes a calendar on council. The business that we are considering, at least in the order paper today, as you can see, is council-sponsored business. This is a bill of council. We have been in this assembly, this is our 5th year. There has never been a time when this assembly has imposed a bill on the order paper that is sponsored by council. It is usually at the request of council. And I know that this has been the case for this particular bill as well. Right Honorable Speaker, has the council disowned their own bill? Is it a vote of no confidence on the bill? Why is it that today, when we are tabling such a very important bill, no member of council is here? Right Honorable Speaker, this is a vote of no confidence in this bill by council because this is a council-sponsored bill. Right Honorable Speaker, the doctrine of separation of powers does not mean that the assembly and council are mutually exclusive. Actually, it means that according to the structure and the structural relationship that exists between council and parliament, that there has got to be mutual relationship where each organ supports the other in its work. What we have witnessed today is council running away from its responsibilities. And this has been the case for a long time. And the narrative outside there has always been that members of the East African Legislative Assembly are not up to their job. And that narrative is being pushed partly by council. Right Honorable Speaker, for as long as the lions don't learn to write, all the stories that shall be written by the hunters will be stories of victory. For as long as we don't speak out for our case, nobody is going to speak out for us. It will always be council pointing fingers at the assembly. This is one of the lowest moments of this assembly, and I think it should go down in the record that this assembly has rejected being pushed into that narrative that the assembly is not doing its work. The records are clear. We have so many bills that this assembly has sponsored as private members' bills, including yours, Right Honorable Speaker, that has never seen the light, that has never been assented to. And you know that legislation is an important part of our business as an assembly. Most of the bills that have been passed are bills that are council bills. Arusha has become the graveyard of legislation. If you go to our shelves, you'll see there are over 30 bills that have not been assented to, without any courtesy of even somebody as a requirement of the treaty for the partner states to write back to the assembly to indicate why they have not been assented to. For the most of those bills, they are private members' bills. If any, almost all are private members' bills. So we have had an opportunity to give council a chance to pass the East African Community Financial Services Commission bill. Last week, we had so many pressure groups. Even this morning, we were meeting women traders under the leadership of an international NGO. And they were petitioning the assembly to fast track the coming in of the East African Monetary Institute because they are making so many losses due to multiple exchange rates. But today we are here. This bill is supposed to have been tabled by council, and they are not here. And tomorrow they will come and make a very powerful case and try to stampede the assembly to pass the bill. Right Honorable Speaker, we have got to reject it, and it should go down that we are not going to proceed with any business of this house for as long as those who are supposed to escalate the recommendations of this assembly are not there. Because whom are we talking to then? Even the next business in the order paper is a report of the chairperson of accounts. To whom the recommendations of that committee? Whom are we reading them to? It's supposed to be for council to take action. And so if they are not here, Why are we still making, why are we still sitting here as an assembly? So Right Honorable Speaker, I implore you to make a ruling that we suspend business of this house until when council is here so that they are able to listen to this house. Thank you.
Honorable Mbide. Then Honorable Order.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, as we who are aging in terms of legislative matters of the region, it is quite disheartening that we are leaving the assembly in this kind of manner. Right Honorable Speaker, there is somewhat a meticulous tendency being orchestrated by council, relegating this assembly to almost complete nothingness. If anybody thinks that this is a mistake, if anyone thinks that this is a joke, then you are all out to a very rude shock. Right Honorable Speaker, I have been consistent on watching the proceedings of council on several things. Even when ministers converge. One other meeting that converged in Mombasa that included several finance ministers from partner states. It included, among us, resolutions, undertones that actual members of the assembly are very many. If you are not aware, the resolution includes the reduction even of numbers of members of the assembly. Meaning, in the eyes and ears of these very heavy and serious ministers, the assembly is almost useless. Now, the CTC is here, not in his capacity to be consulted on legal matters. Legal counsel is not sought in the chamber. And this you must know as members of parliament. He is only here as an ex-officio member of the assembly. Don't seek legal opinions from him from here. It is wrong parliamentarily. So he is here as a member. He can talk, he can advise, he can't even vote. When you look at Article 5 of the treaty for the establishment of the East African Community, that is the only article that clearly states the objects for which the framers of the integration process we are enjoying, those very spiritual members that convened the very first meetings of presidents, the vision they had is of a people-centered integration process. Now, the only people they were talking about are consumers. The only organ that is here on behalf of the people of East Africa for integration affairs is this assembly. Now, all ministers were appointed to run their partner states. All presidents were elected to run their partner states. The only politician is for purposes of integration, a member of this house. Now, if members of this house are within the meaning of the understanding at the subconscious level of the brains of these ministers are useless, then the people are not represented in the integration process. Right Honorable Speaker, I don't want to take a lot of time, but this is very disheartening. There is now a growing camaraderie, interaction, friendship between these ministers and the East African Business Council. Today, they have even taken decisions to the extent of establishing a common external tariff above 30%, 34, 35. Where is the assembly input in this? We are the only ones to protect the consumers. Now, that one that has been established shouldn't excite you where there are no industries. It is intended to increase the prices of commodities, establishing contadors and it is going to establish a price equilibrium at a level where East Africans cannot be in a position to penetrate. They want They want to purchase commodities. The prices are going to be at a level where the common East African person can't consume. Ask all the partner states whether they have ratified the Competition Act that was long passed by this assembly in 2006 to protect the consumers. Nothing. So, Right Honorable Speaker, this assembly is being looked at in a manner that caricatures it, that establishes Balesqui against it. We are laughable. And until we take very firm decisions, as honorable members have suggested here, in fact, it is going to be injurious to the East African Community if we proceed to any other business other than establishing anger as the basis for which ministers will now be here to perform business. I also support the idea, Right Honorable Speaker, that we have no further business except to make sure that ministers perform the duties for which they were appointed. I beg to move.
Well said. I'll listen to Honorable Order and then Honorable Makame, and then honorable colleagues, members will make a decision on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I also want to join my colleagues by congratulating you, my brother. You look good in that attire. Yeah, I'll be brief because I was trying to catch your eyes and you were avoiding me. After Honorable Mbide kowtowing, it's not easy for me to. Yeah, anyway, on a serious note, Right Honorable Speaker, mine is a disappointment because I think last week we have been discussing this even in last year, but we thought things are going to improve. But unfortunately, we used to at least have one council member. And we understand. It should not be taken that our assembly does not understand some of the challenges and the commitments of honorable ministers in the partner state. And that's why when sometimes we sit here, we have one minister who is representing others, we continue our business. Should be put on the record that this assembly is not enjoying adjourning the assembly. It is painful. We are seated here, we left our families, we have been trusted by our partner state leadership to come here and represent the citizens of this community. We are one of the organs under the treaty, very important organ to do three very important responsibilities: oversight, advocacy, and registration. And we thought, and we still believe, that those organs have been put in place to corroborate, because the mandate put in place in our treaty to be performed by the council is very, very important, because the council represents the summit, and the summit which really is the owner of this big project we call integration. Right Honorable Speaker, Assembly with its mandate and the court, all those three organs are there to facilitate what our citizens have been dreaming to achieve in order to improve the welfare of the citizens. Right Honorable Speaker, as we are speaking, you try to think and analyze what is going on. COVID brought bad things, but also we have learned very important, the other way of doing business, including using the IT It is unfortunate today, Right Honorable Speaker, if we fail to get even one minister joining online. At least to listen, to help us move forward in our mandate of integration of EAC citizens. Right Honorable Speaker, when I was requesting to speak, I thought the issue would be on the bills. But when I wanted to propose that, honorable members, please let us put this aside as the CTC has requested, and we move forward to talk about other bills, I realized I'm a member of CTI, and you have a very, very important report on the table today, Right Honorable Speaker. And we have another one from accounts. Actually, I belong from those both two committees. And Right Honorable Speaker, we have South Sudan issue. We have Kasoa. Right Honorable Speaker, you know very well the issue of airspace in our community. There are a lot of issues around transportation by air. So, Right Honorable Speaker, when I wanted to propose this, I realized this also needs the Council of Ministers to listen and to help us understand where are we going in integrating East Africa, especially on those very important things, which will help in trade and services of our community. Right Honorable Speaker, without taking much of our time, I just wanted to say that I wanted also another clarification from the CTC, if you can allow, because the order paper, which we have today, and I know very well that our offices work together, they collaborate. I was wondering how the Secretary General's office would send our able CTC to come. They get the order paper a day before or some hours before the meeting. I thought with this collaboration, they would even advise the clerk's office that, please, though we wanted these bills to be tabled, unfortunately, we still have some challenges. And these bills will not come to the order paper. So I'm wondering, how can we come here with the order paper, with the bills, these important bills on the order paper? And I remember very well, because I'm a member of the commission, we had a very big discussion on why the clerk of Eala wanted to remove activities, our activities of which was already on the program, including the private members' bills. One of it being pharmaceutical bill, which is very important for our community, and the other bills. But we listened and we accepted that we have a practice in this assembly that the work of the council should be given a priority. As my brother said, Honorable Kenneth, 2 meetings in Nairobi and another one here, we agreed that we are going to put aside all activities of the assembly and make sure that we pass these important bills. Because if you read these bills, they are the bills which will help us move forward in our integration. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I still want to hear from the CTC what happened. Why did he allow these bills to come on the order paper while knowing very well that these bills are not ready? If we knew these bills are ready, I'm very much sure that the ministers contacted the Secretary General whenever they have challenges of attending the meeting. He would even inform the Right Honorable Speaker that today, maybe we are not going to have any council minister because of important reasons, I assume. Then let us advise the assembly that today, maybe they continue with their activities in their committees, and tomorrow we sit and discuss why they are here. It is very embarrassing for us to sit here and the public sees us sitting here without even being informed that our ministers are not going to be here. Because I believe there is a way. Even today, if the Office of Right Honorable Speaker will be informed on time that the honorable ministers are not going to be available, we'll take other business in our committees. We still have a lot to do in our committees. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I wanted to join my colleagues by saying that I think we need a special sitting with our leaders. We need a special sitting with the council, with the Secretary General, with Right Honorable Speaker. We sit down and discuss on these issues. If there is any problem from our side, we are ready to listen. But we need accountability from all organs to make sure that we move. We don't want to be seen that we enjoy coming here and going back home. We are not enjoying it. We don't want those speculations. We have been in other offices. It is not only through Eala that we can show our contribution in developing our country. So please, Right Honorable Speaker, we want our dignity, we want our respect, and we want to listen, and we respect the council. But we want them to understand, we want them to tell us and understand where is the challenge. If we are the problem, we want to know where we are causing the problem so that we can solve it. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I submit, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Honorable Makame, please keep it brief.
Thank you very much.
We have indulged you on this matter for, I think.
Thank you very much, Mr.
enough
Speaker.
time. Let Honorable Makame pronounce himself, then we move on.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. From the outset, let me join my colleagues and also our colleagues outside there, even if there are some colleagues up there, to commend you and to congratulate you, Honorable Speaker, for chairing that seat. Actually, you look very good there, and we like it when you're there. Mr. Speaker, I'd also like to join my colleagues who have contributed here in all the sentiments raised. And they are not just sentiments, they are factual issues. Because, Mr. Speaker, what I'd like to say is that today is a really sad day. A very sad day for the East African Legislative Assembly. It is a very sad day for the East African community, for the people of this community whom we are representing. Mr. Speaker, let me just remind this House, Mr. Speaker, much as I'd like to be very brief, but just to remind that Honorable Mbide, my brother, quoted Article 5 of the community, of the treaty establishing the East African community, which talks about the objectives of establishing the East African community. And the objectives, and in the objective it says that there are stages of the EAC integration. And these stages are customs union, common market, monetary union, and ultimately the political federation, as per the Article 5 of the treaty. We completed the negotiations of the protocol of the East African Monetary Union 10 years ago. And in that protocol, there's a roadmap detailing the lines of implementation to when we are going to be having a fully fledged monetary union. And by 2016, all these institutions which we are now discussing and deliberating were supposed to have been brought to this House by the Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers has not brought
Order,
the
Honorable
bills.
Makame, there's a point of order.
Thank
Honorable Noor. the point
Honorable
of
Chair,
order.
I just wanted to ask, or look for your guidance. What is the relevancy of the debate that Honorable Makame is
That's
trying
an
to debate?
interjection. It's not a point of order, Mr. Speaker. Kindly just
Irrelevancy,
proceed.
irrelevancy. What do you mean?
We're not supposed to be fighting here.
Order, honorable,
I'm
honorable members.
presenting my case, then you have to sit down. and listen.
Honorable Noor, Honorable Makame has the floor, and I want him to proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for protecting me. So, Mr. Speaker, the council had delayed to bring the bills to achieve the monetary union. After the longest delay, the council has finally brought the bills. These bills did not make their way to the order paper just magically. It's the council that forwarded these to the assembly. And that's how they came to appear in the order paper. I'm quite sure, 100%, that the clerk did not just invent and then put them on the order paper. So these two bills are very crucial. The community needs to be integrated, the East Africans. The council brings the bills, and then the council absents itself from the house. Mr. Speaker, Article 48 of the treaty pronounces on the membership of this house. And it says there will be we, the elected members, and then there will be the ex-official members, who includes the CTC, the Secretary General, and the council. And the council members are ministers responsible for EAC affairs in their respective partner states, and deputy ministers, but they cannot sit in the house at the same time. If one is in, then the other one will be out. So, Mr. Speaker, looking at this house, first of all, the ex-official members, most of them do not make efforts to attend. We wouldn't like to, say whether they maybe they have other issues they have to attend, but the issue here is why are we having this community if it's not important? Why are heads of state having summit of EAC? Whenever, the highest level is at the heads of state, when the heads of state are having a summit. And the summit, it takes the council to prepare the agenda of the summit. And the council prepares the agenda from various interactions with the assembly, with the secretariat, with other organs and institutions. Now, if the council is absenting itself from this legislative organ, what should we do? Mr. Speaker, my colleagues have raised that we cannot proceed because the link between this house and the partner state governments is the council. The link, so the council has to be here. If the council is not here, then it means that this house is not properly constituted. We have to have a representation of the council in the chambers. Now, what we should ask maybe ourselves is the council not aware that this assembly is currently in session, and that the members of this house, they're supposed to be coming and tabling these bills, and also participate in the deliberations that are ensuing here. And if the council is aware, and if it is absent, what should we understand? Because these are important bills. Is it that the council does not value the business which is taking place here? Or is it the council that is disowning its own efforts of tabling the bills that have taken a long time to deliberate at the senior officials level and the governors and other players in the partner states? So, Mr. Speaker, this house and members have spoken that we should not deliberate business when the council is not there, but the council should also inform us why they did not come. And Mr. Speaker, we would be happy to flank you by your side when you go out there after this session, because there are members of press here, and probably you might want to make a statement. So we'll be happy to flank by your side.
I agree.
So that you make a statement so that the council hears this, and members of the summit can hear it through the media, but also there'll be ways of making their message reach formally. Because we cannot continue operating like this and say that this is normal.
Seconded.
So, Mr. Speaker, having said that, Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't say maybe who is negligent? If negligence is there, is it the council? Is it the house? Because we are here on duty, but the council is not here. I wouldn't like to say that the council is being negligent. But Mr. Speaker, let me conclude here, and I beg to support the submissions that made by my colleague earlier. Thank you very much.
Motion.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Before I grant you, Honorable Kennedy, the opportunity to move a motion, honorable colleagues, I want to thank you very much. You will notice that I have given nearly an hour to indulge members to speak to this matter, because this is a very important matter. Honorable members, you will know that it was the council's feeling at some point in time that the times of work around the year for this house be reduced. But again, here is a time when this house is unfortunately unable to transact its business, because we're meeting once in a quarter now. The next meeting of this house after this plenary ends next week, this plenary session is actually going to be in the month of June. So I want to send this very strong message, because I was actually indulging members to speak to this matter in the hope that even in that time, a council member somewhere in the East Africa community will find it wise, or word will reach to him of what is going on and will join us online, to be honest. And that's why I indulge you for all this long period of time, hoping that there will be a member online. Up to now, there is none. Honorable members, I don't know how council wants us to proceed with the business of this house, because certainly from the look of things, I don't see how the supplementary budget they brought before us is going to be dealt with by this house in this session. Because today, and even when the substantive speaker was on the chair here last week, he had to cut short our deliberations, as pointed out by the members. I was here as well, because of the lack of members of the council being here. Some of the reports we're about to listen to, and you know, it's very unfortunate that we are honored to have people who have come a long way to listen to the deliberation of this house, the youth of the East African community being one of them. I wish they had an opportunity today to listen to this house debate the very important reports that are before us. They will have certainly benefited from it. The report on the extent of integration of partner states, in particular for today, the Republic of Southern Sudan, which is before us here. The issue of the airspace, the Kasoa. People of East Africa keep asking us, why is it so expensive to fly from Nairobi to Arusha here than it is to fly from Nairobi to Dubai? All those issues are discussed here, and this house has given a recommendation on how the lives of the people of East Africa could be made better if these house resolutions were listened to by the council and acted upon. I want to thank again the PS from Kenya for representing at least the Republic of Kenya. And I'm not saying that because of the fact that I'm from Kenya, but I am saying it because of the fact that at this point in time and throughout the whole of last week, I know how busy a man he is. He has sat with us. I want to send a very strong message to the bench of the council that please do justice to the people of East Africa. These honorable members are ready to sit and represent the people of East Africa throughout the year. You cut short a lot of that time which they gave for them to come here and represent the people of East Africa, only for you to fail the people of East Africa in their cries of wanting to be represented through those and for those legislations which will have otherwise been passed. Having said those words, honorable members, from the agenda, from the order paper of the day that you have, you see there are two important reports or two issues for us to transact. One
Motion.
is a report on, I will come to you, Honorable Kennedy, please. There are two important motions. One of it is a motion on the Republic of South Sudan, which the substantive speaker last week found it wise that we give time for the minister from South Sudan to be here, at least the council member from South Sudan to be here. And because that council member is not here today, I will rule that that particular motion will be listened to as and when there is a substantive members of the council, either from South Sudan or the other council members who are here, hopefully in next week. The other matter then that is before us is the issue of the accounts committee. I'll grant you an opportunity, Honorable Kim Guy, but when the speaker,
the procedure on you, Honorable Speaker, is
when
on
the
you.
speaker is making a ruling on an issue, it is always procedural to please remain calm, and I will grant an opportunity for those procedures issues you are raising. The other is the issue of the report on the accounts committee, which is before us, which also the chair of the accounts committee is here and ready to present that report. But all said on these issues, honorable colleagues, I have had members raise what looked like a motion for the House to suspend its sittings for today until Tuesday next week, so that giving an opportunity for the members of the council to join us here so that we can be able to continue to deliberate on this matter. But as a speaker seated here, unless I receive a motion, I am not able to voluntarily be able to rule on that matter. And I want to grant, before I come to the motion, which is raised by Honorable Kennedy, he has raised a request for a motion, but Honorable Kim Guy, you caught my eye on a procedure, okay? I can see you are no longer, you have dropped it. So Honorable Kennedy, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for steering the House once again. You have done it very well. And of course, I appreciate that personally so much. Mr. Speaker, before I raise my motion, I would like you, through you, to request that the CTC confirms to this House that the bills are ready. Number two, that the CTC should be able to avail copies of these bills to the House. And three, that now let me move my motion that this House suspends until such a time when the ministers will be available. In an event that they are not available, we shall continue to suspend it. I move the motion. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion has been moved and seconders, Honorable Dr. Makame, Honorable Fancy, Honorable Mbide, Honorable Dr. Anne Eto, and the many other members, Honorable Adam Kimbisa as well. Now, before now, I subject the motion to the floor for a debate and voting. You sought clarification prior to that. So CTC, please clarify on those matters quickly.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, we all know this is a house of rules. The bills are a property of the council. They are ready when the council we have had the discussion with the council and they're ready to present them, and they have been tabled. That's when they become a property of the house. So for now, we cannot present anything to the house until we have had because the owner right now is the council. So really, we can't do much about that. So we are suggesting, we have requested that Tuesday next week, when the council comes and they table the bills, that's when they become property of the house. And we only need to wait until Tuesday.
Okay, now I want to subject I want to state that Honorable Kennedy Mukulia has read a motion before the House, which is that we suspend the sitting of the House until Tuesday next week, so that the council may be able to be in the House for us to discuss these important motions and for the House to receive the bills which have been slotted here for fast reading and deliberations. So having said that, I want to open the floor now for members to speak to that motion. And if there is nobody wanting to speak to it, then the procedure is that I will read it again and will subject it to a voting.
Motion, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kim Gai, do I see you
Motion.
interested to speak
Yes,
to this motion?
It's a motion on the motion. Yes, it's a motion on the motion.
Honorable,
Mr. Speaker, motion.
there's a motion already which is being
It's on
dispensed.
the motion.
You want, unless
Yeah,
you want to
it's a
speak to the
procedure.
motion.
It's a procedure.
Yes,
it's a-
Honorable Dr. Makam.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to invoke Rule 48. Closure of debate, so that you just put the question.
Ambassador Fatuma, before I come to Honorable Kim Gai, who wants to substantively speak to this motion.
Thank you. I know it's not speaking. I just wanted clarification from the mover. Whereas I support the content, but every motion should have a basis. So I just wanted to know under which rule has he moved the motion? Thank you.
Okay. Honorable Kennedy,
Yes.
there is need for you to substantiate your motion, please.
I moved the motion under Rule 30M, motion without notice. And the reasons as to why that is moved is because we do not have the council who are responsible to answer our queries or our issues that we are going to deliberate on. Equally, there was a ruling of the speaker that the council should be around before we could also proceed with the business of the House. So those are the reasons under which I moved this motion. I thank you.
Let me get you clear.
Information.
Under 30 what? There's nothing like 30M.
Information.
Okay. Hold on a minute, please. It can't be 30M, Honorable Kennedy. I know what you're trying to do, but 30M is on urgent bills. So you are not on urgent bills. As I listen to Honorable Umkiza, can you please get your proper standing orders properly? Honorable Umkiza, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was actually seconding, this motion because this motion is referring us to Rule 62, and that rule is about urgent bills.
Spoken onto that.
Yes, and the bills, the matter in this house now is about the council bills that were not brought to us. So I think the motion is not far from the truth, and we can second it and endorse it. We submit.
Okay, Honorable Kennedy Mukulia, get your points in order, and we can be able to.
Further information a bit.
Yes, Honorable Fatima.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Can't we move it under L? Any motion on urgent matters of public importance supported by 1/3 of members present. Thank you.
There are a lot of provisions within these standing orders, procedures of the House to allow you to do this simple thing.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. We can amend the motion and all the rules as much as possible to allow that we suspend the House until Tuesday. Thank you. I accept any amendments from any of the members.
Thank you. Honorable Kim Gai, you want to speak to this motion before we subject it to a vote?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Actually, Honorable Ken, you want to put that in trick because even now we not clear and we cannot debate the motion. We are not clear which rule are being moved. For me, I think that Honorable Ken should withdraw his motion, and under your rule of procedure, Honorable Speaker, you have a right that you have to adjourn the House for the next whether on Tuesday or Monday. I think Honorable Ken should withdraw his motion, and under your power, which are being given you by rule of procedure, you can adjourn the House as the way as you can see in the rule 15. In rule 13, follow. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Ken, Honorable Tim has challenged you. You either.
Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker. Provided that the substance remains the same, I therefore withdraw the motion, and that you can use your powers as the Speaker to adjourn the House until Tuesday. So thank you so much. The message is the same.
Yeah, Mr.
Raising on a
Speaker,
point of
as I
procedure.
also joined that new procedure, I recall that I have suggested that you go under Rule 7, and this is 7A, where you have powers to open, suspend, and close sittings. I submit.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Thank you. That's well said. It is what I was just about to do. But that is okay, honorable colleagues. I think the point is clear, and we have sent the message to council. I am now going to take the opportunity of the powers granted to me under Rule 7, as was rightfully referred to suspend the sitting of this House until Tuesday. That is adjourn the House. We will adjourn the House until Tuesday, the 28th of the month, when we suspend the sitting of the House until Tuesday, the 1st of March, when the substantive, when the council will be here with us, and we will also, the office of the Speaker will also communicate in time on the order paper for that particular day. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you for the good deliberations on behalf of the people of East Africa.